I mean, like, they marvel people, the things that they see in funny books, that nothing can harm them, and things of this nature. And that's that God mentality that the last poets talked about in their poetry of the 60s. The white man got a God complex. And I'm just telling you, man, it's a dynamic that you have to come in. So black culture means that you practice not only, you accept your physical projection, but you got an ideology or philosophy of blackness. That's what I'm saying.
Professor Rahh, I miss this type of teaching. This is the type of teaching I was in for years, and I miss it, and it's back. I'm glad. Okay, moving on to the next question. It's kind of piggybacking off to the last one. What is the state of African people in the United States and worldwide?
Well, first of all, you look at the politics. There's a lot of good things that's happening. The system makes you think that there's no progress and that we're hopeless. They have you thinking that, wow, look at the brothers that's on dope. Look at the brothers and sisters, the sisters that's walking the street prostitutes. Look at the homeless, the black people homeless. Look at all the black men there. We can't win. But you're winning. They make you think you're not winning, there's no progress. We have more black people finishing high school. We have more percentage of other ethnic groups and racial groups, even white percentage throughout the period. We have, you look in California, people think California is what, 7% black? The state, so, it's hard to get a gauge, but you go to the South and you go to the East Coast, there are a lot of black people doing positive things, doing great things, and there's a lot of demonstration. We had a 1 million man march, we had a 1 million women march, we have black people that have struggled in Ferguson. Now Ferguson got a black mayor, black city council after the killing of Michael Brown. You have black people standing up. If black people don't stand up, the other ethnic group and racial groups wouldn't show up. So black people stood up. Once we get our liberation, other people are liberated. And that's why the LGBT groups are joining the Black Lives Matter movement, and other groups are emerging. Even the reparation issue is coming up. Because once we stand up, others can stand up. Once we get our liberation, you don't have to say people of color. Everybody gets theirs. Whenever we get our rights, all other racial groups and ethnic groups get their rights. And so the state of black people is one in which we're on the move right now. We get with these massive demonstrations and massive political awakening. A lot of these people they're new to the struggle, but they're building on the evolution of the struggle from the continent to the Holocaust of enslavement, from the colonialism and imperialism that took over the continent of Africa, to the Holocaust of enslavement, to all these struggles that we have waged, from the struggle to get out of the Holocaust of enslavement, the struggle during Reconstruction, the struggle during the Depression, the struggle during all the Industrial Revolution, the wars and all that. All these struggles that we have put forth against police brutality, against racism, against lynching, against all forms of psychological and cultural warfare on us, black people have been fighting against, contributes to where we are today. And these young people that's out there struggling are building on that struggle. That they are like people, like you see thousands of people celebrating Juneteenth. But we've been celebrating Juneteenth, which was a Texas holiday, and people from Texas used to celebrate it out here for years. But now you got thousands of people celebrating it and marching and merging the movement with the celebration of Juneteenth and the recognition of Tulsa's Holocaust, of they dropped the, they peaked somewhere in 9/11 was the first time America was bombed. No, first time America was bombed was in Tulsa when they bombed black people from the air in Greenwood. So, all that history is coming out, but it is built on the nonviolent struggle of the civil rights movement and the black power struggle of liberation movement during the same period, during the 60s and all the way up to today. Look at the struggles at Long Beach State when we were there. Roland Peterson getting shot in the back of the head, running from the police. So this concept of this young man who just got shot in Georgia, Atlanta, for running, he wasn't the first black person that got shot running. Many black people got shot running. Irvin Hurst from Cal State Long Beach got shot running. Then the Ron Settles case, and I mean, all of this contributes to what black people are doing today. So it's a beautiful thing. But our status is always going to be one of development, to be ourselves, to have our own special truth, to have our cultural liberation, whereas we can distinguish ourselves from the standpoint, if we don't want to drink, we don't, that's our philosophy. We don't drink. We don't want to eat pork. We just don't even want to eat pork. We want to eat nutritionally and eat vegetables and use herbs to heal and everything. That's part of our philosophy. And that breaks us from the monopolization of the white man telling us to be like him. So I think we're in good shape. We're on the move. And I'm just grateful for the black organizations, the Black United Front, DCCLA, Black Clergy, and Labor Alliance in LA, the other organizations, the Nation of Islam, all the various groups that have been started to help people and to serve people that feel empowered because of the George Floyd killing that seemed to have mobilized the world. Now you got to get organized. First you got to get educated. Then you got to mobilize. Then you got to get organized. Now you got to confront the system for change. And I see that they're reforming police departments, which we were reforming way before today. We had a lot of reforms in Signal Hill where black people couldn't even walk, and in Inwood, California. All of these police departments were reformed through struggle and liberation movements, especially out of Watts and Compton. So police have to change their ways, and you see them arresting them and firing them faster than ever. All of that is contributed to struggle. And the battle line for black people is everywhere. Wherever the black people is, there's a battle line. That's what Malcolm X said. So I'm just happy to see the struggle going. I just wish it wasn't a pandemic so I could get out there.
I heard that, but you are about to get out there because I'm gonna be a party to that. Okay, that was excellent. Now, I wanted to ask you about the George Floyd killing, but you already spoke on it, so I'm going to move on from that. What is the impact of religion as it relates to African people?
Whoa, Malcolm said religion is something personal between you and your God. I believe in that. I believe that people should keep their religion with a personal relationship with God. Don't try to impose it on others. Religion and spirituality has always been a challenge because of the abuse of religion and by whites of many black people and by Negro preachers that believe in the gospel of prosperity versus the gospel of liberation. We must develop. I think the gospel of liberation is very important. That we had with the African Episcopal Methodist Church and and there's Reverend Wright out of Chicago, Bishop Wilkins, who used to be here in L.A. There were a lot of ministers that believed in activism. Martin Luther King was used religion as a liberational tool. Southern Christian leadership. When you use religion the way it is designed, that's to free you from sin and abuse and exploitation. That's what, even if you're a Christian, Jesus came with good news to break the monopoly that Jews said that you only could get to heaven if you were Jewish. And Jesus came with good news, saying, no. And that's when some people protested, and that's where the term Protestant came from. And they killed Jesus. If Jesus ever existed, they killed him. But the point is that, religion can be a tool of oppression, or it can be a tool of liberation. There are people out there using it as liberation, but the majority of people that are into Judeo-Christian religion right now are, sometimes polarizing the movement and polarizing our activism by not incorporating a liberational aspect to that. Most of our great leaders were ministers, but they were liberational ministers. Douglas was a minister, Tubman was a minister, Farrakhan was a minister, Malcolm X was a minister. So there's a lot of people. Al Sharpton today is a minister. Ministers was an easy job. All you do is open up a church. But you had to have a message. And they had a message of liberation and activism. And there were things that white folks were doing, lynching and killing, that they felt like in that Turner, that God called them to be active. But many ministers, as Khalid Muhammad said, the fool pit, that's what they do. They pull you into a pit, and you never come out of it. And so, I think that black people need to really follow a religion that is uplifting and make them better people, but make that religion is also one in which take a stand against injustices and don't just say, pass the bucket and let me build a bigger building. So religion has been used to enslave and both Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Black Israelites, black Muslims, and black people in Islam and black Christians, many of them have collaborated with the system to oppress their black brothers and sisters, psychologically and culturally, and polarize them in many ways, and have been collaborators by not being active politically, and like you got evangelists supporting Trump, and you don't see the black Christians coming out who they support and what they're going to do. Some of them do, but not enough. They're not national. They're not organized under the banner of spiritual liberation and spiritual empowerment. They're organized under the auspices of trying to get to heaven and live forever in heaven. And that's a challenge, I think. I think black people are becoming more aware, and they're looking for a spirituality, a new spirituality that speaks to their true condition and their true reality. They don't like to go and look at the ancient foundation of spirituality from the ancestors, going all the way back to the continent, where religions, spirituality started among black people, and draw from their own religious experience. And so that sometimes can polarize them, but I'm very hopeful that people like Reverend Wright and other young ministers that's coming up will do more as far as activism.
That's excellent. Now, we getting towards the end here, and I wanted you to speak a little bit about Juneteenth, since it is Juneteenth. How ironic that we be blessed with your presence on Juneteenth.
Okay, well, there's different perspectives of Juneteenth. First of all, some people say it's the end of slavery. No, that's 3 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. And, they said that the people in Texas, this general came and told them that they didn't know that they were free, and that's not true. The people in Texas were still holding on to slavery. They didn't want to give it up, and the general of them had to come and tell white folks to let the black people go. Yeah, but they tried to change the story around like we were so stupid that we didn't know we were free when there were black soldiers that came in there and told them that they were free. But the Europeans said, no, we haven't gotten the word yet. But, they want to blame black people. So black people started celebrating it as a Juneteenth when they got the message 3 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, which the Emancipation Proclamation really didn't free us. And Jerome Bennett's book, Fortune and Glory, he's one of the first black authors that wrote about a white president. He wrote about Abraham Lincoln, how racist he was, and how the Emancipation didn't free us. The 14th and 15th Amendment is what freed us. And to a certain, and again, that's after the 13th Amendment, which allowed slavery to exist and led to the mass incarceration of black people as for the purpose of slavery. That's the whole purpose of mass incarceration. And they even hired many prisoners out to work in corporations who work with private businesses from various prisons in Angola and Louisiana and Texas and all over. But the point is that Juneteenth is a day that was just celebrated small. They made it a state holiday in the 80s. Now they're trying to make it a national holiday. I'm into holidays that we celebrate as black people, just for black people, like Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is just for black people. They didn't ask white people to make it a national holiday. A national holiday is a misnomer. It means federal holiday. That means the banks are closed and no mail, and federal buildings are closed. That's what makes it a national holiday, because the feds are everywhere. State holidays just mean it's a state. And Jews have just Jewish holidays. Latinos have just holidays for Latinos. If it's going to be a cultural holiday, it's just for us. I don't. If other people want to get in the celebration, that's fine. But it's ours. We don't need the Congress to pass a bill or anything. They ain't them getting that. We've been celebrating Juneteenth. You're going back to the 1800s. We didn't ask for nobody. It's just this woman who wanted to get a state holiday in Texas in the 80s. People celebrated it. We just went out and celebrated. Kwanzaa, they never had a demonstration for it. Kwanzaa is not Black Christmas, but we celebrated. We just went and started celebrating. I celebrated Malcolm X's birthday. On May 19th, I'm not going to work. I'm going to come up and use a sick day or whatever, and I'm just going to listen to Malcolm X lectures and stuff. You choose. And the same thing with Juneteenth. How do you celebrate not getting the word that you liberated or supposed to be, when you did have the word, but the white folks there wouldn't let you be free until that general came and told them white folks, and then you got to let these people go. Slavery's been over 3 years. But they want to celebrate it. The people of Texas, I want black people. Black people want to celebrate it. Say, this is when we found out, fine. But I'm going to tell them the truth. It's good to celebrate. It's not a black 4th of July. You're supposed to be celebrating African liberation, not slave liberation. African, you're a person. You're a human being that was enslaved. And you have to celebrate the liberation and celebrate with education and consciousness like you see something going on today. That's not it. They didn't have major marches for Juneteenth. They had speeches here and there, and they had barbecues and things of that nature. They party. But now you got some activism. They demonstrating. I like that. You understand? Using Juneteenth as an active day of liberation. That's what it's supposed to be. Supposed to be want to expose the Holocaust of enslavement, how horrible it was, what they did to us. And not only that, you get to include the struggles of other people that were abused, the Holocaust of the Native American, the Holocaust of other ethnic groups in your education. This country needs a good cleansing and flushing out. And I'm just glad to see the masses of black people who stood up so other groups are trying to stand up. I don't trust the white folks out there. I mean, they marched with us back in the 60s, and then they cut their hair and joined the conservative movement. They can go back to being white anytime. You can't get your blackness off. So we'll see how committed they are when elections come around if they re-elect Trump again.
That's a great point.
Yeah. And get rid of Mitch McConnell. And get rid of the Senate. All of them. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I just think it's good, the liberational aspect of Juneteenth and bringing the education of the horrors of Tulsa and the horror of mentioning the Tulsa 1921 special Tulsa Greenwood massacre, and that you go and get Rosewood in Florida, and then get all those Bloody Sunday and summer in Chicago. All those days of lynching and murdering of black people, put them all on the table. You see, and I'm glad they're trying to get reparations for the people that lost everything in Greenwood, and I'm glad that for their ancestors. I'm glad the reparation movement is being brought up. It's a beautiful thing. They talking about reparations in Los Angeles. Shirley Weber in Sacramento got a bill to study reparations for black people that was enslaved in California. So, hey, the struggle is on. I love it. So, Juneteenth, I just wanted every day to be Juneteenth struggle day. We don't just struggle on special days. We should struggle every day. And I love the way after George Floyd torture murder, now people have been demonstrating for over 18 days, but we got to remember, we've been struggling all our life. I mean, in education and in fighting police brutality for years, way before George Floyd. You look at, that's why they had a list of all the people that have been killed. You go back to the brother that was killed in 1968, driving his wife to I can't think of his name right now. But then you go Larry Morris that was strangled in his bathroom by the LAPD with a chokehold. Eula Love was shot. She didn't have no gun. So, we go back, and, that was in the early 70s. And as I said, Roland Peterson at Cal State Long Beach, he was shot, running from the police, Dennis Bershaw. Hey, we have a history of this struggle. So it's just a beautiful thing to see things going. Yeah. I like what's going on today in Juneteenth. It's not the barbecues. They're marching and demonstrating. I like that.
Struggle with purpose, huh?
Yeah. Beautifulness.
Yeah.
Change. Look how all the police departments changing the passing laws to different cities. You're getting in chokeholds, and you can't shoot unless you're sworn, and you can't use tear gas unless you check with the chief. That's monumentous. Look how fast they put that case on this guy that just shot this young man in Atlanta. Doing it take years. So that's the result of us standing up and other people showing up.
Man, I'm glad we talked.
And the only difference between Larry Morse being choked and George Floyd being choked, they got video technology. You understand? Contributed. And you know, not that they didn't have it before. I mean, we have films of black people being killed before, but this was during a pandemic. Everybody was at home. It wasn't a news excerpt. It was live to a certain degree. 17-year-old sister had the sense enough to pull out her camera, even under the threats of the police telling her to stop filming, to keep filming, and that's how they got it. And the man begging for his life, and the guy with his hand in his pocket, and his knee on his neck, and it looked like he was enjoying it or playing pocket pool or whatever he was doing with his film, with his hand in his pocket, and freaking off. And others just watching him freak off and telling them, no, we ain't going to let him up. And they standing and watching. Oh, man. That set the world. I mean, it's not just in the United States. This is all over. In Europe, France, Africa, Australia. Everybody wants their liberation. Once black people stand up, others will get up and show up. And so people are fighting for liberation everywhere. You know, and that's a global movement, like Francis Wilson said. Racism is a global dynamic. You know, she made that clear, and Neely Fuller back in the day. We've been knowing it. You know, and so it's a good day.
Yes. Well, you gave us some great information. Is there any parting words for you, or let me ask Brother Iration. Iration, you there? Brother Iration, are you there? Okay, you must have taken a pause for the cause. So,
yeah.
Professor Amin-Ra, would you like to leave us? What words would you like to leave us with? Do you want to talk about some solutions for us, or what? What do you want to speak about?
Well, the solution is always struggle, because the struggle continues, and educate yourself. And you know, our biggest challenge is just to be good examples. First of all, stay safe. That virus is out there. Stay safe. Don't listen to these people, and don't follow these people to bars, and don't try to have swim parties for your kids and things, birthday parties. Right now, shelter in place as far as you can if you are part of that group. Those that feel strong enough and good enough to go out there and participate in rallies, go ahead and do all that. If you feel that you can be safe out there and that you want to participate, fine. The other thing is that just to continue to educate yourself and love each other, respect each other, and be a part of the struggle for the betterment of the future. The next thing you got to start looking at is that there's some major issues. Climate, health, this virus is serious, and other health issues, you know, staying healthy. And then redeveloping the family, getting back to the values of cherishing the children and challenging your children, not just cherishing them, but you got to challenge them to excellence, pushing excellence and possibilities, and just staying positive. Don't let the people depress you and make you feel that we ain't doing things. We're doing a lot, and we have done a lot. And we're not only getting liberation for ourselves, we're getting liberation for others. And they're tying their struggle to our struggle right now to express themselves. And don't let it turn into a Woodstock and you know, hugging and kissing the police and that's okay if police want to join in, but don't be kneeling and hugging and thinking that they won't be police the next day. And the same thing, you know, be optimistically cautious about allies You know, until you sit down and work out agreement and rules and regulations, but always lead. Don't let allies come in and take over your movement. That's my point. You know, we got to lead this movement because we're one of the most oppressed people next to the Native Americans in the world. So I'm just proud of the people. Continue the struggle.
Yes, yes. Man, I appreciate you, Professor Amon-Ra.
I appreciate you, and I want to say thank you to you and all your partners in this endeavor that y'all are trying to get information to put out there to educate the people, because that's one of the steps toward liberation. The first one is education. Second one is mobilization. Third one is organization. And then the fourth one is confrontation. And the fifth one is transformation. That's how you transform people. And I think that y'all using technology is a beautiful thing with regards to us educating the people. And I'm just proud of what you have done, Rio, as a math teacher and as a young man that's trying to really make a difference with regards to young people and with regards to the struggle by educating yourself and teaching others what you learn and from people that you learn. So we appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
All right.
So we're going to end this, and you know we got to keep it going. We got to keep this movement going.
All right.
All right, brother.
You take care.
And you do the same.